Hello everyone, and welcome back to Star Technology. So I start off today by actually expanding my sand and diamond production because my current steam power setup actually uses more diamonds than I'm making. So a lot of the stuff we've also already done before, so I'm not going to spend too much time on it. I just made a whole bunch more crushing wheels and a whole lot more sieves as well. But anyways, hello, and everybody, welcome. Today we have a long to-do list of things to do, things we missed last time, new things we have to do, but I'm ready for it. And hopefully we don't run out of diamonds this time. And something I didn't really mention is I'm hiding this on purpose. I hate the way, I don't like the way Create looks in the base. I hate it, so I want to get rid of it as soon as possible, but to do that, we need to progress. But as always with progression comes base building, and I'm again going to stick true to my promise and add more to the base. So with building out of the way, let's get started. So the goal today is to actually finally hit EV and get stable titanium set up. However, in order to do that, we're going to have to continue our ore processing quest here and do something with all of this molten ore mixture, meaning we need a distillation tower. Luckily with some auto crafting, this shouldn't be that difficult to do, and I think I'm going to make like 2 of these. Of course, I've also been letting all of these stainless steel run here, so we have so much of it now. So since these distillation towers need to be run at EV, I'm going to have to overclock them with 2 HV energy hatches each. And each of these needs to be 8 blocks tall. So the way that works is it's 1 for each fluid output plus 1. And a really good way of just being able to do this is just put the amount of output hatches that you need, including the input bus or the input hatch on the bottom, which I just have on the back here. Awesome, and now we have our distillation tower. So given this hat, which, actually, as a matter of fact, I'm gonna move this input hatch here to this side. I should be able to just put the molten ore mixture in here, and my system on the green subnet, which we made last episode, we should be able to see. Yes, wonderful. So now just with some power over here, this guy should be up and running and making me all of those nice byproducts. Every single one of these. So all of this stuff, we're going to have to figure out what to do with. Before I do that, I'm actually going to do a little bit of wall sharing here and make my second distillation tower doing the exact same thing that this one's doing. Awesome, so now both of these are running. So pretty much every single one of these, I'm going to have to send through an autoclave, and they take a good amount of time to actually do, but I don't know. I think I just need 2 autoclaves. There's a lot here. The one we really care about at the moment is the bauxite, and I believe also the ilmenite, because that'll give us the rutile, and rutile is what's used to make our titanium. So I'm gonna need HV autoclaves. I would like to use the multi-block, but I don't think there's actually a point if I don't actually have EV energy hatches, right? Because the multi-blocks give the perfect overclock. So even if I run this inside of the multi-block, it'll still run at 8 seconds. Whereas if I had an EV energy hatch, it would be at 2 seconds. And we don't actually get those nifty 16 amp energy hatches until EV. So it looks like we're kind of soft locked into this being a really slow, but that's fine. And all of this stuff I'm going to store in a whole bunch of super tanks. So with some storage buses, I should see all that stuff get stored. I'm hoping it'll be smart about it. Nope, see? It was not. It was definitely not smart about it. Yes, there we go. So I'm going to go ahead and lock all of these. So this should keep everything stored until, like I said, we have like all of these stuff set up with ore processing and a better autoclave, because this is not very good at all. Right, so I think, I don't know if 2 autoclaves will be enough. We're going to hope it is. We're going to hope it is. I think it'll be fine, especially because, like I said before, this is very temporary. And I believe the things I said I cared about were the ilmenite and the bauxite. So all this, like I said, should be seen from the system. So with just some pumps on these, and then these also are going to need stone dust, which I don't don't know if this is seen by my subnet or made by the subnet. Either way, I think it'll be fine. And now, yes, we're making our bauxite and ilmenite. But this is not getting any power. Okay, that is not not what I want to see. This may be really bad. Alrighty, so for now, I'm going to turn off one of these distillation towers because I don't believe we have the power to support it at the current moment in time. So we'll have to stick with just one of these distillation towers and hope that's fast enough. Looks like we got to upgrade power already. But now we are getting our ilmenite and also our bauxite, which this, I think I'm just going to send through the macerator and then the ore processor. Right, so if I make these a part of the subnet here, I can just send these straight up through the macerator. Yes, I'm going to get my crushed bauxite and crushed ilmenite. And instead of sending this through the ore processor, actually, it looks like I want to send both of these through like a thermal centrifuge, which I think is exactly what I'm going to do. That way I just maximize my rutile production, which is what this is all really for. It's just for rutile and titanium. So I can do pretty much the exact same thing I have over here. I'm going to use MV machines due to the power situation that we ran into because we're running out. Definitely not an ideal situation to be in, but that's okay. We'll figure it out. And yeah, I cannot wait until I get rid of all this. It looks like this macerator might be starting to get a bit clogged up. What matters is we're getting our bauxite here and thus our rutile as well. Alrighty, so with all the stuff now in place inside of this really jank ore processing system, I cannot wait to upgrade this, by the way. Oh my gosh. We should start getting a whole bunch of rutile. We already have 23 pieces, which I will take it. That is 23 pieces of titanium, now 24. Wait, but hold on. We have a problem. A very, very serious one. There's no way I can continue to do what I'm doing without upgrading power here. It's bad. We're almost capped out just from the distillation towers, so it's time for a bit of an upgrade. So I got a little bit carried away here. My original plan was to just quickly make 2 more steam engines, and I was like, that's not going to be a very good midterm, long-term solution, at least until we're in like IV or late EV. So yeah, I went a little bit overboard. I'm expanding the base again, and I'm going to make a whole area specifically for power production. And on top of that, a whole lot more steam engines, or turbines, whatever they're called. Alrighty, so everything is moved. All of the power stuff is moved. There's no really central power or like substation, but I mean, it's fine. We have plenty of storage inside the dynamos themselves for now, and we're making more than we're using. So until LUV, I don't think it's really necessary to store power, and I think this will last us a long time. And of course, I left room to expand. I like this new direction the base is going over here with the walls. I like that it feels a little bit more segmented, more organized. We'll see. I'll keep going with it. But I need to get titanium going. So to make a piece of titanium, we're going to need a chemical reactor with rutile and all this stuff to make titanium tetrachloride, which takes 20 seconds. And then I believe, yeah, we can overclock this and make it 20 seconds. So it should be pretty easy. So it should be like 1-to-1 timing if I have a HV chemical reactor. I know I'm putting off putting off the LCRs for so long. I mean, I don't even have a spot for chemistry yet. Not good. Not good. We got to do that. So inside of my machine wall of many machines, I think I'm just going to slap this down. Man, one of these wires is going to explode one day. It's an absolute wreck back here. That's okay though. And if I'm not mistaken, this carbon and chlorine is a completely closed process. So if you look, I'm going to send rutile to make this titanium tetrachloride. The carbon monoxide I can turn back into carbon, and the oxygen is just extra. So this I think it's centrifuge or electrolyze back into carbon. The tetrachloride I can then, if I go over here, that's going to turn into my titanium and my magnesium chloride, which this should give me my magnesium and also my chlorine back. So I don't actually have to worry about doing all that crazy stuff. As long as I send it back through to get those fluids back, it should be a completely closed circle. Awesome, so I have this running, getting my titanium tetrachloride perfect. And this, I don't want to store too much of, so I'm just going to put a storage bus on it. So whatever this makes, yes, I'm going to get my carbon monoxide and my titanium tetrachloride. I should be able to see both of those just straight from here. And this, I'm just going to send through an electrolyzer. So I'm going to need a new set of Canthal coils. Something tells me I'm going to be waiting here a minute. I have a lot. I'm batch crafting some circuits right now, so it's going to take a little bit of a long time. But anywho, we're getting our titanium tetrachloride, meaning we can start smelting it up. Alrighty, so after a little bit of waiting around, I have everything I need to make this EBF. Right, so I'm just going to go ahead and put in titanium tetrachloride. Then I believe, yes, I just need 2 pieces of magnesium. Awesome. Yes, perfect. And now, wonderful, I'm making my titanium every 20 seconds. That's actually really good. I feel like stainless steel took so long. Right, so now I just have to deal with the carbon monoxide and also the magnesium chloride, both of which I can just do with an electrolyzer here. Awesome. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to have the system straight up just take all of its chlorine from here. Right, so what I can do is here on this insert, I'm going to change it to orange. And I'm just going to do this. So all of the chlorine should go back into here that it needs, which is perfect. That's exactly what I want, right? Yes, and I'm also now getting my carbon back and my oxygen. So this should now be a completely closed loop. I should no longer have to rely on any fluids being in here. The only thing that the system should be seeing, or what isn't really closed, is the rutile. That's it. And now if I send the titanium through here, you should start cooling that off. Yes. Wonderful. I'm making titanium. I'm so happy. Boom. That should be a quest, I think, too. Yes, it totally is. Meaning that we totally just unlocked the EV age. Alrighty, so we're in EV. What's next? Well, for starters, I would like to start mixing together Inderium, as this is actually the EV superconductor. I'm also going to need a whole bunch of nichrome coils, which is something, honestly, I probably should have been doing for a hot minute now. Don't exactly know why I'm not doing that. But luckily, it's really easy to make. I just need a circuit 2 recipe here. I'm going to make like 4 stacks of this. So obviously, all this is going to take a lot of time. And this next part is usually something I would probably not put in the video, but I think I am this time. Because GregTech teaches us a very valuable life lesson in time management. Wow, is that steel I'm running out of? No, that's silicon. Okay. I was getting scared there for a second. I was like, oh. So back to what I was saying, I could stand here and I could just kind of wait in AFK. But instead, after I build this EBF for my nichrome, and I'm also going to build one for Inderium, and I really wish I could get one of these. Don't think I can just yet. I'm actually going to find just something else to do in my world. Like I said, just managing my time a lot better. And I think this is actually a very, very big deterring point for a lot of people that play GregTech packs and don't finish them, is that they're like, oh, well, GregTech is just kind of a waiting simulator. And while I do kind of agree to an extent, I think that there's just so much to do that I feel like if you feel like it's a waiting simulator, you're kind of playing it wrong. Obviously, this is very pack dependent and also very, I don't know, kind of how far you are in the game. Like, I know for a fact the end of Moni Factory was kind of just a waiting simulator, but I mean, that's a game design flaw, not a GregTech design flaw. Or, well, maybe it is GregTech design flaw, I don't know. Anywho, at least in the early to, I would say early end game, there's usually always something to do. You can make something faster, make a new system, all of that stuff. Yeah, see, and I'm going to be waiting for this batch craft to be done to get those muffler hatches. I might as well make a bunch of those and batch craft them. But like I was saying, I'm going to find something to do. Like, for example, I know for a fact I would like to have the AE2 processors on passive because that's one of the big kind of weighting things that I'm doing. And I was just talking about how GregTech isn't actually a weighting simulator. I'm kind of saying it is a weighting simulator. I can kind of reduce the weighting I have to do just by putting something on passive. And I think this is where a lot of players' playstyle also comes into play. I like to passive things. So I think passiving everything, again, it kind of just deters on playstyle. And I would say a good rule of thumb for passiving something is if you're using it in an autocraft a good amount, there's no reason really to not passive it, as long as it's not too expensive. And I mean, you guys have brains, so you can figure out, maybe do I want this on passive? Do I not want this on passive? Obviously, there are circumstances to adapt to and whatnot. But again, you guys have brains, you're playing GregTech, surely you're exercising them a good amount. So for example here, I am passiving this nichrome here because I think I'm actually going to use it a decent amount in upgrading a lot of the EBFs down here. And while I'm probably not going to use it past EV, I now have this EBF here I could replace if I wanted to. And nichrome is also used for RTM coils, which again, I also know that those aren't really used too much. But because everything is so slow as well, I don't really think the on-demand is worth it. That's another thing I would say. If something's really slow and you do need at least a decent amount of it, I would say put it on passive. But again, that also depends on you guys. So a quick little recap of this little conversation I've had with you guys while kind of just playing is manage your time. And another kind of tip I would have is I would 100% say it is worth doing organization for your GregTech base. I don't think it's really like optimal to go and actually build a base if you're just looking for completion time. I like to do it because I feel like if I'm in a world where I don't enjoy my base, I'm really just not having that much fun. So for me personally, and I do think this would apply to a lot of other people as well, if you're in a base that you enjoy, you are going to enjoy your run a lot better. That's just how it is. Anywho though, enough yapping, I am going to get these processors on passive here. And it's going to make my life a lot easier because I'm choosing to passive them. And yes, these do definitely have a few steps to them, which is a little bit annoying to passive, I'm not gonna lie. So I get the appeal to not doing it. I just find it really easy to do this instead of waiting. I don't know. I'm doing all the waiting now by doing this, and I'm gonna save myself time later down in the run. And here I'm getting the fruits of my labor of putting all the AE stuff on passive, or the AE alloys on passive. Awesome, so now with all of these circuits here on passive and the plates on passive, the processors should go on passive easy peasy. Anywho, enough of me just talking away, we need to progress. So typically when you get into a new energy tier, the first two things, at least I like to make, are the assembler and also the energy hatch. Now, we had to do a few modifications to ore processing in order to do this and also add a few more EBFs. So instead of just talking through it all, I'm going to do a big fat montage. Well, more like a voiceover. So first of all, in order to make our nichrome coils to make inderium, we needed boron. And the only way of getting this is through a little small process in the lepidolite ore processing line. And of course, our ore processing is very scuffed. Very scuffed, so I had to make a few modifications to do this for just a little bit of boron. Next, I have to increase ore processing complexity even more. I'm so serious, when I get to IV, I'm ripping all of it out. But I needed phosphorus, and the only way I can really get that right now is through apatite, which I get through a little small process using pyrochlore, which is something we do have. And next up, it was time to teach my system everything related to EV. Oh yeah, this was satisfying. I cannot lie. And this is about where I figured out I needed neodymium, which we do actually have straight up from ore processing. We just have to put it inside of an EBF. Which brings us to the here and now, where I'm able to make my advanced assembler. Oh yeah, look at this. Advanced assembler. If I'm not mistaken, that should also be a quest. Oh, I have to hold an EV machine hole. So this also means I can get EV upgrade kits, meaning I can upgrade my dynamos again. The one problem with that is we're running out of diamonds really fast. So that's something we're gonna have to figure out probably in the next episode, because power consumption doesn't exactly go down after this point. In fact, I would say I'm at the point where it starts to skyrocket. So we're definitely gonna need to find a solution for that. But for the time being, we have EV machinery. So this means a lot of things. One of the things it means is I have a better assembler, meaning I can do my EV recipes now. So boom, EV assembler. And the first thing I really care about is actually making an EV coil so I can make an EV energy hatch. In fact, I guess I should make more than one assembler here. Right, so one of these on circuit 1 and one of them on circuit 0. So now I really only need 2 things in order to make the EV energy hatch. One, I do need platinum, which is not something I actually have yet. It's going to be a bit of an issue, but I think we're making some of the stuff we need over here. Yes, this sheldonite here. I believe I can turn this into platinum and also palladium. Yeah, perfect. So over in this same area, I am just going to add onto this and add another autoclave for just the sheldonite. Awesome, that's going to give me my sheldonite dust. And I think this electrolyzer has finally gotten to the point where it's way too backed up. yeah, this is going up and not down here. So I need to make a second one. And then we'll get our platinum and we should be able to make the EV energy hatch almost. I also need the phosphorus that I'm getting from here. Again, this is completely backed up. So backed up. The apatite's not actually gotten electrolyzed yet to make me phosphorus. So I should be able to go ahead and upgrade this guy. And my favorite part about this is you actually don't really need that many of the casings. One of you guys told me this in the comments a few episodes ago, so thank you a lot for that. Because this is going to save me a lot of time. I can just put a whole bunch of input buses on here. It's so OP. I can't even lie. Yes, awesome. And now this is making my phosphorus, calcium, and chlorine. So I'm just going to send that back into the system. And I'm also getting calcium from this, which I don't know if I was getting before. But now I should have phosphorus, which is really, really good because I can make the next silicone buell. And of course, I have already prepped an EBF up here with the coils included. And the only really, or the worst part about these is that they take 10 minutes to put through the EBF, but that's okay. It'll be worth it in the end. Awesome, perfect. I am making my phosphorus doped monocrystalline silicone buells. Wow, I really probably should have overclocked this. I'm just worried, like, there's a lot of energy going into this, so I think it'll be fine if I just wait. This we're also going to need to cut inside of a clean room. So right in here. Now, I am going to have this on passive because there's no reason not to just automatically turn the buells into the wafers. Right, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to have the buell be sent through here. None of this is really that complicated, so what's going to happen is if I could plug this guy in, lubricant's going to go into here, not the fluid card. Uh-oh, yep, see, this is, did an oopsie. Okay, so the lubricant should go into here, and so should the silicone buell as soon as we actually get one, and then they'll be extracted and sent back into the system, or the wafers will be sent back into the system. And the way I have this set up is this guy is actually already level limited. Right, so whenever we're above a certain amount of the silicone buells, it'll stop so it won't need to cut anymore. I am now just waiting for the platinum and the silicone buells to finish up. And then we have our EV energy hatch. I cannot wait for that. I cannot wait, because then we also get these 16 amp ones, and those are nice. Those are really nice. Awesome, it looks like I went and I got my platinum, meaning I can now smelt this up. Awesome, so yes, now I'm able to make the coil. And I'm hoping it's been 10 minutes. Oh yeah, we have some phosphorus doped wafers. Beautiful. Now, I do think for the quest, yeah, I'm gonna have to actually hold the buell. So let me go ahead and turn this off for now. But we do have these, which is good. This is what we need. This also means if I wanted to, I could upgrade the crafts for the AE2 processors, which I may do, but truth be told, these are like dirt cheap, so it doesn't really matter. Awesome. So with all of this done, I now need NPIC chips, which is going to need an HV laser engraver. So none of this looks too difficult to set up, luckily. In fact, this should be all I have to do, just a laser engraver with a brown lens. Now we're at the point where I do actually want to start level emitting this. Like, I really don't want this to go for more than it has to. So we're probably just going to stop this at like 8 of these. And now the other issue is I'm going to actually need an EV cutter, which I'm hoping is going to be too crazy of a rabbit hole. We just need some ultimate, which is an EBF recipe. I actually don't know how much ultimate is really used. I guess I probably should just put it on passive. Alrighty, so I've been here for a minute. Can't lie to you. It is actually the next day, so we have all the ultimate we need, meaning I should be able to make my new cutter. Now, I'm really only going to use this one time, because as soon as I get the EV energy hatch, I'm actually going to upgrade this large cutter that we already have inside of the clean room. Because it's way faster. Alrighty, so just with some power, and I mean, I'm literally only going to use this once, just to cut up my NPICs. Beautiful. Awesome. And now I think I can make the first EV energy hatch. Oh yeah, this is a beautiful milestone. Boom. EV energy hatch. That's a good feeling. That's a really good feeling. So let's go ahead. Let's upgrade this guy back here. So now this is running at EV. So I can go ahead and put this recipe here into this cutter, which for whatever reason, the input hatch doesn't seem to want to work with me here. Awesome. So now we can make those EV energy hatches just on demand. Alrighty, well, I think that's a pretty good wrapping up point for this episode. So thank you guys all so much for watching. We have a pretty big to-do list next time, actually. There's a lot of stuff starting to fall apart a little bit, but we'll see. I have a plan. We'll get to it. Anyways, I love you all so much. Thank you all so much for watching. I will see you guys in the next episode of Star Technology. Later.